Hey there, welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. With every episode, we're embracing our multi-layered lives with faith, know-how, and grit. I'm your host, Dr. Jasmine, and I'm ready to go global with you. Let's get started. Welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. We are around here stepping into our power, stepping into our future, and trying to reach that destiny and purpose that God created us to live. So I have with me Miss Danielle Sykes. She's the founder of Caryberry Graphic Design based in Maryland. Danielle has successfully and passionately contributed to the growth of small businesses by creating brand identity visuals since 2011. Caryberry Graphic Design consistently delivers designs, products that make a difference. Danielle is committed to creating designs with love, intention, respect for all of her clients' core values and ideas. Thank you so much, Danielle, for joining me. And by the way, Global Girls, Danielle has decided to sponsor this episode. Thank you for joining me and sponsoring. How about that? So, Danielle, would you tell the people a little more about yourself?
Hi, everyone. This is Danielle. I am the owner and graphic designer at Caryberry Graphic Design. We offer high-end, professional, affordable design services to small businesses. Our mission is to maintain the affordability part of it, because we believe that all small businesses should be able to have a high-end professional brand that they present out to the world, similar to those of the level of Amazon or, Target or Dior or whoever you aspire to get to the level of. We want to offer those kind of services to you at an affordable price.
Thank you. And I know for sure that I have taken you up on your offers many times. You have helped me develop my logos for my businesses, for even this podcast, as well as different website iterations. And sometimes I'm like, oh, child, she probably tired of me. But I need my Danielle in my life. I need my personal graphic design artist and creative to help me make my visions come to life. So thank you for serving me, for one. So I can attest to Danielle's customer service skills, her patience, as well as her creativity. So let's get into this conversation. I want to know from you, what role does faith play in your business?
I'm huge on faith. I'm one of those people who immediately can tell when I'm leaning towards flesh and not following what God has in place for me. I go into a spiral, a full-on overthinking, anxiety, having spiral. And so for me, faith is very important for me to, number one, trust God in everything that I do. And for me, that's the foundation, because as soon as I go off of something that's not faith-based, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like my lane. It doesn't feel like I'm going the right path. I'm not walking in my purpose. And so faith for me is very big in the sense of I need to have the trust foundation with God, and also He's in control. Like, I can't try to take the steering wheel. So my faith just guides me through whatever God has for me out here in life, in my profession, in my business. And I'm just going to follow it to the T, because it hasn't steered me wrong. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So how long have you been in graphic design? And I read about your bio, and you started your business in 2011, but I know that wasn't your first entree into graphic design. So how long have you been in the design industry?
I will say probably since 2008, 2009, I would do like baby shower invitations and business cards for family, friends, and really didn't know that graphic design was a thing. Like, had no idea. But I would do these things, and I would create them in PowerPoint or Microsoft Word. I'd print them off of Vistaprint, and it'll be an offering that I would give to my family members, friends of the family. And then one day my sister told me, she was like, you know, you can go to school for that.
Mm.
And I was like, for what? And she's like, it's graphic design. You can go to school and you can really learn. Because she's like, you really can do amazing things in Microsoft. You really could do a lot better in, you know, the correct software, as she put it. So I started looking at art schools, probably 2009, and really it kind of just got so much better from there. I learned so much. I went to the Art Institute of Washington,
Nice.
and I was at the tender age of, oh God, I think I was like late 20s in this
Wow.
art school with all these 19 and 20-year-olds.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was a fun experience though, nonetheless. It pulled a lot out of me, like just drawing, which I've never been bad at drawing, but I never like dove into it. And so going to school for graphic design really like helped me hone in on that, and just the software and the ability and skill set and the rules that you're supposed to follow. So yeah, it's been a journey, but definitely been doing it for a while.
Oh, wow. And isn't that one of the things I heard you say is that you started off with just a creative interest in it. And then you started
Mhm.
off helping your friends and family. And then you got a seed dropped in your heart from your sister. And she really planted that seed to help you kind of open up to think further about how you might want to expand what was a hobby into a
Yeah.
full on degree and business. So you started your business in 2011. What was the springboard for, for you garnering clientele? Because one thing I know about you, you do have a lot of interest in your business. What helped you, you know, jump into expanding your clientele?
For me, word of mouth has been my blessing. I mean, I feel like word of mouth is a blessing for all business, but I started my business so long ago where I wasn't really competing with the whole social media aspect of business. So I was given the opportunity to build my reputation off of word of mouth, and that continues to serve me.
Mm.
So that's my biggest driving point.
Nice. Nice. It sounds like you have really, positioned yourself to really build a brand, not only by getting the education in place, but also I
Hmm.
can attest to you providing the customer service that keeps people coming back, like me, and that allows you to have that referral based business. Do you
Yeah,
believe in marketing outside of referral based at all for your business?
I believe in it. It's so complicated to me, so I don't. um, and part of that, I will be. Part of that is because my goal with my business is not to grow in size; it's to grow in place. And so
Hmm.
I have the luxury of opting out of marketing if since it's so complicated to me. In the sense of just it seems overwhelming, a lot to do. So yeah, I'm not against it though. I do think it's a great tool. I just have been blessed to not need it thus far.
Okay. Okay. So what strategies do you use? I know you talk a lot about using systems in your business. What
Hmm.
strategies do you use to help give you that ease and that peace to make sure you have systems in place to make your business run efficiently and effectively?
So I would say my biggest strategy is exclusively offering value-added services that are easily accessible to my clientele. So I am big on systems. So I have a whole streamlined onboarding process that I hope my clients find to be easy to use and very responsive. It definitely helps me in managing my different projects and different clients. Um, I'm big on maintaining a customer focused business.
Mm.
I'm really big on customer service. And then I also am very passionate about just us business owners and us really owning our business and having a hand in everything that we do with our business, and really knowing how to control that in case you don't have that assistant or that graphic designer. I'm big on just the ownership of it all. And then I have a commitment to the operational excellence of my business. So you hear me talk about the systems. I have a client management portal for my clients that really like starts and triggers and works everyone through this workflow that I have set up, this automation. And so for me, it's big to have a system in place for your business, for clients to know how to reach you, how to get information from you, and then to also educate them or communicate with them on next steps of your process. And I mean, number one, you have to have a process, right? So I always tell folks, like, if you're looking for a streamlined way to put your onboarding in place or your business process, whatever that is, I always tell people, if this happens, then what should happen next? You have to think about those things. And with the systems that I use, it allows me to really communicate with my clients on what's coming next without me really having to constantly do these manual emails and a lot of follow-up with folks, because I'm sharing it with you up front through this system that I have in place.
Systems, that's key, even in any industry and business. So, even I myself as a business owner, and I believe in putting those systems in place to help, just make things at ease. That automation is key. And I would say it's king in a way to a business to help you have that work-life balance, but also kind of take out the guesswork for your clients, as well as to help you not have to do those day-to-day tasks administratively. So that's definitely good. So let's talk a little bit about graphic design and branding and things of that nature. We need you to help the global girls out here who say, hey, child, I need some help with my website. You have any tips, tools, or strategies to help with website design or help develop that brand, that social media brand? Any tips you want to share that you want to just drop a few gems for us today?
I always tell people consistency is key. You need to repeat the look, the feel, the style, the tone of your brand over and over on all your platforms, whether that's your website, social media, any printable marketing materials you have. They all need to have the same communication, the same messaging, the same look and feel. And this is key because this is how people start to remember you. So when I say the same look and feel, I'm talking colors, typography, which are your fonts, any images that you use. You can duplicate these things on your website, across your social media, on brochures, business cards, and this starts to get you recognized, right? I also say the colors and typography may seem like a small thing, but again, I want to remember your business from a positive thing and from the items that I see over and over again. And so if your type is Helvetica, for example, then I should see that throughout all of your stuff, somewhere, some way, some form. So consistency is key. Some people think it's not that big of a deal, but I can't remember you for the good if your stuff is always changing. I always tell people also with brand identity, you need to really put some thought behind it. It's not as simple as, let me pick this cute color and, this bold in your face, loud logo maybe, so people can remember me and see me. You really need to think about who you are going after, who's your clientele base, who's your ideal client, right? And thinking about what they would like to see, not necessarily what you would like to see yourself as a customer, but what your ideal client would like to see. Because a lot of people have businesses who they're trying to market it to folks that may be, let's say, exposed, not exposed, but just have a lot of income to use, right? And that level of a client might have a different, look of things or want to see a different look of things to spend their money. So you need to appeal to those senses, and that requires you to really think about what that client is, who that client is, what they like, and what fields you want to bring, what service you're offering, what solution you're providing. And so I always tell people it seems tedious, it seems boring, but you really need to think about your brand and what you want it to be in a thoughtful way, put some effort in. And once you do that up front, it becomes so much easier to be consistent and repeat and put out the correct messaging out into the world, especially when you're trying to go global, right? Because it's just key that you look like you know what you're doing.
How about that? Do you
So,
have any thoughts on, how what's the first thing you talked a lot about really thinking about? Like some people don't even know how to start thinking about it. Like, do you have any thoughts and can you share about, you say, start thinking about it? Like what should be the first thing they should think about? Like what significance does a particular font have over another font? Like maybe people don't understand, like if they use what's that font? Lato, Lato versus Calibri. What is
yeah.
that saying to the population over another? Can you talk to a little bit about fonts and certain colors and how colors have meaning?
Yeah. So I tell folks the first step is to think about the feelings you want your brand to emit out of people when they see it. Is your brand fun, or do you want them to see the conservative, professional? Like you need to think about these keywords, and from those words, you can pull in color psychology. It's a color theory science where you take a word like energy, happiness, and you can correlate those to orange tones, yellow tones, and this helps you create a basis, right? Most people have like a color that's their favorite color and they want it in their brand, which is completely fine, but build around that where it makes sense, right? Color has meaning. So if you think about it, like when you see red, you think of urgency, emergency. You see like stop sign comes to mind, red lights. Like there's an urgency to do something. Blues are known for professionalism and also for calm, right? So if you're into skincare, you see a lot of blues and light greens because they're calming colors. So these are things that this is an easy starting point. And then depending on how you describe your business, like the feelings you wanted to give off to folks, that can come into play with your typography, your font. Some folks like script fonts. If you have a fun brand, where it's easygoing, scripts can be your thing. Also, if it's to be kind of lighthearted, but you got to just be careful with what type of scripts you talk about. Lato and Calibri or Calibri. Calibri is a font you find in Microsoft. Some folks might not, catch on to that so quick, but others with a keen eye will. And it just shows your level of professionalism in a sense that you're pulling a font off of Microsoft instead of finding one that's a little more custom or less used, right? That can help your brand stand out. So, these are all things to think about. It in the look of things, right? So if you choose a font that like a Calibri, like what is that really helping you to stand out with? It's such a plain. But I mean, I always tell people start there. Like, how do you want people to feel when they see your brand?
That's
and
good.
then move from there. Yeah.
That's good. So it sounds like the goal is to take people through a journey, and through the visuals, you want them to emote a reaction to what they are seeing. And as a result, they begin to engage with you because the visuals are, kind of provoking some type of action or emotion as a result. So that's good.
That is, in a sense, that's your brand. Like, what does your brand make people feel? Like, if you're not in the room, what is your brand telling people? So you want to make it a strong one.
That's good. So from start to finish, when you work with your clients, tell people a little bit about your process, just in case they want to, engage with you.
So, a new practice, because I'm always trying to make my process better and better every year. Whenever a new client comes on, we go through the brand identity workbook. My brand identity workbook is just what I've been talking about. It's going to force you to think about your brand and who your ideal client is, all the fields and what colors you might be thinking of, and then you go through the color psychology. So it's really making you pull out those thoughts of, okay, what do I want my business to do? What problem is my business solving? Just really thinking about what you're offering. And then after you go through the brand identity workbook, we set up a time to discuss your project. And this is where I learn a lot from you. We go over what you put in the brand identity workbook, and it gives me kind of like an outline of how to start your design, whether that's a logo or a website. And from there, I go through iterations of what I call design and feedback. So I provide a design. I look to the client to provide feedback. We kind of do that dance a few times until we get to an end product that the client loves. If it's a logo, once we're complete, you get your logo in 3 variations. There's a primary logo, a secondary logo, and a logo mark or submark. And I like to offer these 3 variations because it allows you flexibility with your brand without I guess, compromising your brand. So the primary logo is just that. It's your primary logo that you will use across the board most of the time. Your secondary logo is if your primary logo doesn't fit, say, the space allotted for a business. Like sometimes we sponsor, other people's events, and they have a certain amount of space that they're giving us. The secondary logo may fit better. Or on your website, there's a span for your logo to fit in, and sometimes the primary logo may not fit there in a aesthetically pleasing way. So it's just a flexible option to have. And then your logo mark or your submark typically can be used for like your icon on social media or the icon in your browser window. I don't know if you've noticed, like when you're on Google, there's a little G next to in the browser tab, like it's a little icon. So we have those to just kind of continue the brand without, losing it, right, throughout different platforms that you may need it on. And then with websites, I design on Squarespace. It's a template-based platform, and I love it for clients because it's user-friendly, where you can learn to manage it yourself in case you need to make any content changes, like verbiage or images. And so it's great for that. And it's a award-winning platform and I've been with them, probably been with Squarespace since like 2013, and I've never had an issue of like spyware or virus issues. Like they're legit. I hear so many people have a site up for 10 years and then wherever they were got a virus, and that company doesn't have the support to really manage that. And so now they're just out of luck and need a new website. But in any case, with the website, we'll go through the same iterations of the feedback, design, feedback, and go back and forth. And once we're done, we'll do a tutorial. Because, again, I'm big on you owning everything you have, being able to touch it and really know how it works. And I mean, that's really the process with me. I want to make sure that the client is happy with what they have, because I always tell clients, be patient with yourself. This takes time, and you're paying your money. And it's your brand, right? So you want to get it right, because we're all at some point going to do a rebrand, but we don't want to be doing it a year later.
How about that?
You said some time in between, yeah. So for me, I hope my clients take away that I really want you to win. I want you to have all the tools to win, and I'm going to work with you, and we're going to get it right. So you can go out and take everything and use it how it's supposed to be used, and hopefully communicate a strong brand identity for your business.
That's so good. It takes strategy and intention to live out that faith-filled life, that courageous life. And I believe that you are helping people add that creative strategy side to their businesses and or brands to help them, reach whatever it is they're seeking to achieve, all while you are actually living in purpose. How about that? That's good.
Yes. That is a blessing.
I heard that sigh of relief, like, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't.
Listen, I talk about it often with other business owners when I'm like, what if I wasn't a creative? Like, and what if I didn't, like, somebody didn't plant that seed in me that I was, and I'm still out here searching for my purpose and like what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I can't imagine. So I'm just so thankful for it.
That's
It really like
good.
it's like one of those leg ups that we have. Like anyone in the creative sphere, like it's a blessing to know you have that is some part of your purpose, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
just got to figure out how to use it. That's the challenge.
So let's talk about that a little bit. What's some advice that you would give other women who want to step into this industry? They don't know how to get
Hmm.
started. Obviously, you talked about you going to school, but say, they've gone to school and they're not having any, making any headway with garnering clients. What advice would you give women who say, I want to do graphic design full time, or I want to get into a creative space in my own industry, whether it be, it's so many ways to be creative and start a creative based business. But what's the best advice for those who want to step into your industry?
I find that networking is key, and this is where social media has like become king. It's so easy to network, and you don't. The joy of it all is you don't have to network with people just in your industry. You can network with just other business owners because 9 times out of 10 they're going to have a need for some creative art. Like it's just what they're going to need. So just networking to the various events that are out there. There are so many get-togethers, virtual events, conferences that are they're rallied around women in business. Like I truly am blown away every time I see that, because a lot of us didn't grow up learning this narrative that women can work together. But I see a lot of the sisterhood and the networking and working together. So I always say jump into those spaces. And I know it's harder for some, but they're so welcoming. Like there's no judgment. I haven't had that experience, at least at all, where I'm going to these different conferences and meeting these different people, because what you find is we're all in the same field of I'm trying something different. How am I going to make it work? How am I going to make it successful? This is my lane. We all have the same business fears and challenges. So it's just good to get in those rooms and those spaces and network. And then what you'll find is you'll start to create those relationships where they may call you for, a design. And then that's just, okay, that's one step closer to where you're trying to get to, because best believe we all have clients and products that we can share with others, and we can support, right? We can support each other. So I always say get in those rooms, because I hear that a lot from a lot of new business owners. They're like, how do you know this person? I'm like, social media, I follow her, and then you can, spark up a conversation just in the comments or in a DM, like, oh, I really like that, or how did you do this? I was like, and you'll learn early on who's friendly and who's not, like, and who wants to collaborate and network and who doesn't, and you just move on from those who don't. But
Yes,
like,
good.
it's so open out there, so you definitely got to network.
Yeah, you said so much in just a few words, really. Networking, but also I heard you say you gotta show yourself friendly.
Mhm.
And that's
Yes.
even because you don't know who will turn out to be your client.
Mhm.
And you don't know if that person who's in your same industry doesn't have capacity to serve one of their clients and say, hey, I want to refer you to someone.
Right.
So there's
Absolutely.
just so much to that. I've been in so many rooms, and I consider myself a pretty friendly person, pretty
Mhm.
jovial, if you will. People just
Mhm.
come up to me and start talking. I say, hey girl, what's your name? You
Yeah.
start to develop relationship. In a couple
Yeah.
months, Congressional Black Caucus weekend is coming up, and I have met so many people at events like that
Mhm.
that have become, like, I don't want to say friends so much, but we are associates. When we see each other, we speak. Hey,
Yeah.
we DM each other or communicate, or hey, are you going to this event? Like, you putting people on.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
definitely can attest to seeing the value of being that friendly person, as well as opening up and networking, because you don't, open yourself up to new and better opportunities and relationships unless you do.
Yeah.
So
And you
that's
can't
so good.
learn. Like Like, we're all here to learn from each other, I feel. So
Yeah, that's
you
true.
got to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. So we around here at the Girl Go Global podcast in the community, we are talking about faith. We talk about know-how, that strategy to reach the calling that you feel within. And we also talk a little bit about that grit, that persistence to keep going every day. So what gives you the courage, Danielle, to keep going every day, to pursue your business, to continue to evolve? Because what I know for sure, Danielle, is that you are continually evolving your business. You're continually putting in new and better processes to help better serve your clientele. So what gives you the courage to keep going? Because I know being a business owner is hard, sis. So tell us what you do.
For me, I mean, I should get the courage from God. I go through probably yearly where I'm like, is this what you want me to do, God? Like, am I still supposed to do this? And it's like, yeah, like there's a need. There are still people that want to learn about brand identity and want to, want your service, need your services. So my courage really comes from God. I get so depleted sometimes because I have kids, I'm a wife, I have a government job, and things can become a lot, right? And a lot of being in business is people management too. So it can be exhausting at times. And it's just Lord, just tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. So God always provides it to me. And sometimes you need to take a break. So, okay, well, let me go ahead and close down for, a couple weeks. And that's what I do. Like, just being obedient gives me the courage to keep on going. Because it hasn't said just yet that, okay, this needs to end.
Yeah, that's good. What I know when we follow each other, you do say, hey, I'm closed for the next 2 weeks. I'm taking new clientele up into X date. What gives you the courage to even do that? Like, some people would be so afraid that they would lose opportunity just by shutting down and having that balance, because you have so many balls in the air. We have multi-layered lives. Like, how are you able to do that without having the fear of losing that momentum in your business?
So the first time I did that, it was kind of like I didn't have a choice. I had a family situation, and I just had to. And I definitely was scared, like, oh Lord, I'm going to lose so much business. And I think out of that first time doing it, the courage came from seeing my loyal clients really support me. Like, it truly shocked me. At the time, I probably had 10 projects going. My father had a medical emergency, and I had to step in as his guardian. And I had all these projects going. And I was like, I'm so sorry, but I need to step away, for a second. And and I hate to share personal stuff like with clients, because to me it all just sounds like excuses. But at this stage, I didn't have a choice, but I felt like I owed it to them as to what the reason was. And when I tell you, they all were like, "That's fine. I'll be right here waiting for you. Take care of your family." Like, it just was like this wealth of support, and so that gives me the courage to take my breaks as I need, because I know my loyal clients. And they're just good people, right? They understand that, because they also have all the balls in the air, and they're like, life happens. So that gives me the courage, just knowing that I have put out there who my ideal client is, and I actually have those ideal clients.
That's good.
Right? So it's been a blessing for me, just seeing that every time I close, of course, business stops, but like you said, through the networking and stuff, I route people to other designers. And I feel like, to me, to be a blessing to someone is a blessing to me. So that gives me courage too, that I'm never going to miss a blessing that God has for me. So be it if I lose some business, it just wasn't meant for me.
Yeah. That's so good. I heard another podcast, and they were talking about, well, they kind of mentioned, I don't know if it was a full conversation, but basically talking about business and like, can you afford to be sick? Can you afford to need to be a caregiver? some people are full-time. I heard you say that you also do other things, as far as a career still in this space, but there are
Yeah.
some business owners out there who can't necessarily afford to be sick or can't afford to have a life-altering challenge
Yeah.
in their families. And I think some of the information that you shared is definitely key. One, putting systems in place, right? Two, not being afraid to say, let me take care of me and let God do the rest. But I think it's that proper preparation when you are fully mobile and active that we all need to be thinking about as business owners, because I too am a business owner who is seeking to go full-time in business. Like, what are going to be my systems if I need to take a vacation for 2 weeks or a month? I want to spend a month in West Africa with my family, or I want to just unplug, so, or I have a life challenge where I need to say drop everything and say, so it may involve for like a full-time business owner, also not only putting that automation in place, but getting you an assistant, get you somebody who can help support you while you unplug, while you take care of family matter, while you just say, I just need a break and I'm just going to take it.
And keep it going, because your system will allow somebody else to step in and keep it going for you if you need.
That's right. So we need to be thinking not only about that automation, but what system, what methods are we going to put in place to keep generating that revenue? We got to think 360 around our businesses, child. So I totally get that, and I thank you for even opening up and sharing that with us. So I just have a few more questions for you. I'm talking to Miss Danielle Sykes from the Caryberry Graphic Design Company based in Maryland, and she happens to be sponsoring this episode. Yes. So thank you so much for joining me, Danielle. I just have a few more questions for you. I want to talk a little bit about your business that you recently launched. What I think that you launched it in honor of one of your daughters. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and what that means and how that relates back to your creative side?
So this year we launched Carlisle Creative Company, and with that launching Carlisle Creative Shop, it is a boutique stationery business, and our mission over there is to create intimate, thoughtful opportunities for clients to share feelings, uplift a friend or family member, encourage through stationery. So we offer box sets, and over there I get to use my creative juices by creating the stationery. We have 4 different sets, and the foundation is with my daughter Carlisle, who is very vibrant and also very thoughtful. She's my middle child who always tells me that she loves me, comes and asks for a random hug. And the whole purpose of Carlisle Creative Company is to share this idea of reaching out to people through words, through writing, and uplifting them in a memorable way. So I do this thing with my mom every so often where I go to the store and I buy all these note cards, blank note cards, and I write special messages in them and tie them to an emotion. And so when I say that, I have these notes and I'll write one specifically geared to if she's down, like if she's sad, if she's having a bad day. And I'll write uplifting words in that, or I'll have the kids write uplifting words into it. And it'll be labeled open when sad. And her favorite one is the note card that speaks to opening when hungry. And that one will have like a gift. Yeah, it'll have like a gift card to her favorite restaurant. But the idea is just a group of cards that I give her, and she opens them throughout the year. It's like you're giving a gift that keeps giving. For a little bit of time. So she'll open one on her birthday because there's always a birthday one. And then again, there's, there's types of emotions. So there's sad, there's happy, there's proud, there's angry, there's anxious, hungry, and I think there's one more, but it's like a set of 7 to 9 cards. And normally she opens hers within probably 3-4 months, but they can stretch it depending on how life is treating you, right? So the idea is, especially in COVID, that we've lost touch with folks. So what better way than to send them a note to reconnect? And so the motto is the gift something to write about, or gift something to read about. Sorry. And so it's just I'm just big on that kind of stuff, and so it's geared towards those who love stationery, love writing notes to folks, little love notes. We call them love taps. But yeah, that's the idea of it. And just really, I'm trying to stick with that. Like, so many people are like, "Oh, you should sell birthday cards." And I'm like, that's not the business.
You know what? I love that. I didn't really know exactly what those love taps meant, but the way you described it has pulled on my heartstrings. I love it. Oh my goodness. That's something I think that I have not seen, in my travels or on social and things of that nature. So I definitely love that. And I will be making a purchase. So,
Thank you.
my goodness, I love it. And I'm just thinking about who I can give a love tap to, because that's just so, it just made me so touch me, just talking about, sharing a card with your mom, or just that relationship that you had with your daughter. It seems as if she helped to inspire this love tap line that you have going on.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so good.
And when you talk about marketing, now that's a business that needs some marketing, and I have yet to get around to that.
Yeah, it's a lot. You might have to hire you an assistant, Cheryl. I know that I had to in my business and in this podcast, so I'm definitely big on that, So.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lord, don't I know? But anyway, this has been such a great conversation. Before we go, let us know what it means to you when I say Girl Go Global. What does Girl Go Global mean to you?
Going global, to me, means uncensoring yourself, giving yourself the grace to believe and have the faith that you will be in rooms that you never imagined you could get into. And, we think of global as worldly, and in my world, I think of it as just in unimaginable places. So just being talked about in rooms that you never thought you would be talked about, and being prepared for that time, right? So just putting your systems in place, putting your services or your products in a face where it can be seen, and being ready for the opportunity when it arises. Because the opportunity is going to come when it's for you. It's going to be there for you. So for me, going global is being prepared, having that solution ready, and being able to speak to it, and really turn on who you are, your authentic self, and what you're offering, and letting the world see it.
That's so good. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Danielle. What can people expect from you next, and how can they get in touch with you if they want to take up your services?
Next is really just building out Carlisle Creative Shop and putting that on the map for folks. And so with that, you can reach us for Carlisle Creative Shop. We're at Carlisle Creative Shop on Instagram, and for Caryberry Design on Instagram. The websites are caryberry.com and carlislecreativeco.com.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Danielle. This has been the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. I'm your host, Dr. Jasmine, and I'm ready to go global with you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and give us a review. Let us know how you're enjoying the content, and we'll consistently be dropping new episodes every week. Ladies, let's go global.